to the Shoshin Temple, to our weekly meditation and brain training and awesomeness session. This week we're going to be focusing on just the benefit of just keeping your mind present, getting out of worries from the past, worries from the future, just letting yourself really be present with what is so that you can make the most of every moment. So we have a whole community here, and let's head on into the temple. Hi everybody. All right. So as we make our way in, I just invite everybody to be present, to decide that, hey, you're going to be practicing being present. You might think that sounds absurd, I'm always present, but just really watch your mind and practice really just experiencing each moment as it happens. As we enter the temple, just deciding within yourself that you're cultivating a superpower, a kind of peace, calm, that will give you strength and ease. So we're going to begin this evening's session with our setting of our intention. So I just invite you to think about setting the intention. What kind of focus, what kind of effort, what kind of mindset will you bring to this time we share together? Those of you here in the temple, those of you there on the live stream. So as you feel yourself setting that intention, we're going to be practicing present moment awareness. Set that intention that you'll be making your life more simple, your emotions and your mind more at ease. You're learning to just really always be engaged with what's right there in front of you in a way that is easeful, is calm, that is empowered. But I hope we also set a bigger intention, that when you move through life with calm and ease, you'll be calming and soothing and empowering to people around you. So take a moment, breathe into that, think about that. You being a force of calming, of clarity to the people around you. And I like to also imagine something even bigger. A world where everybody was practicing cultivating positive states of mind. As more and more people cultivate present moment awareness, kindness, empowerment, we have a kinder, more easeful world. And so what you practice today, it is a step towards that world. And the more oomph you put into that, the more completely you embrace creating great states of mind, the more we're making the world better for everybody. All right, so I invite everybody just to grab a seat now. And we're going to almost start with a meditation, but I want to give a little introduction to present moment awareness meditation. There are many ways to meditate on the present moment. You could be walking through a forest and just really letting yourself enjoy each sensation. You could be meditating during a conversation, aiming to just really hear what the person is saying. And if you notice any of your own stories or thoughts about what's going on, just letting them fade and just really being present with the person. There's meditation on the breath and watching when your mind is here or when it's thinking about something in the past or the future, and just really practicing being here. Or are you thinking about how your meditation's going? So it's not quite right here, so you come back to right here. Are you thinking about what you're going to do next? Well, it's a little bit in the future. Now let's just come back to right now, being aware. And so that third kind is the meditation we're going to practice. So it's a nice experience to let your mind settle into the present moment. And I hope the meditation will be beneficial to everybody. As well as that, when we have spent time practicing being present, your brain learns to keep coming back into the present. So we're not just meditating for this meditation's sake. We're actually learning to be more present all the time. So there's this training of being aware of your mind and just coming back to now. And I also hope that the way you then think about yourself and the way you think about how you approach your life will also transform to be more empowered, that whatever's going on, you're just going to show up with your most creativity, your most peace, your most strength. You're training the way that you think about yourself to have this present moment awareness. Now, to some of you that might sound beautiful. For some it might sound a little dry. So I want to juice it up a little bit. That yes, it's great to imagine a mind that doesn't have worries and is able to just be really present. But if you let yourself really enjoy that, think about showing up into your moments feeling free, being able to choose, hey, right now I'm going to choose to be happy, to be more loving, to be more blissful. I'm going to choose right now to feel expressive. It's when we're just present and not caught up in any other thoughts. You're fully engaged and fully free. And not only is that like a strong, great thing, like it's a blissful, beautiful, playful thing. My wife and I were talking this week about making all our interactions nice and lovely. And there was a couple of things that she was frustrated with me about. And then things might have just been going great that evening. But then somehow she'd remember a frustration, and then suddenly there was not such a great vibe. And we talked about it a lot. And I pointed out just being present, letting go of all the stuff from the past. And she just suddenly started laughing. She's like, wow, there's like just this bliss. If I'm just being present, I get to just be blissful and just be love. And just the ease and the joy that has flowed into our week since then has been awesome. I guess I should also preface it with, I really wanted to hear the things that I could have changed to make her frustrations be better, or like to resolve the problem. So yeah, being present lets you just really be joyful with others, and like concerns or frustrations or things that can like make relationships less smooth, you're able to sort of set them aside. And if there are things that really would be better if they were changed or improved, you're able to then talk about them lovingly and confidently, instead of just when they bubble over as angst or uncomfort. So yeah, as we all start to move towards this meditation, I want you setting yourself that intention that you're going to be cultivating a deeper sense of peace and presence, and that will be beautiful for your moments. It will also be great for when you talk to people, whether it's the people you love, whether it's the rest of the friends, whether it's people you work with or clients. Just being able to just be in the present moment and bring your best self to each moment. It's a beautiful gift to give yourself and to give them. Is there any questions before we begin the meditation? I'm just checking the live stream. Hi, welcome to have you guys here. I'll be checking periodically, so please feel free to feel like you are here with us. I hope to see whatever you've written and be able to answer your questions or comment on whatever's going on. Fluffy Puppy, was that a question?
Actually, it's more like a tell. I tell you that I've graduated to the 10th grade.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I actually should be very thankful because, like you said, like being mindful helps, and it has been helping me, and it has been helping me very much so that I only had like a couple points to helping me graduate to get to the next grade, and I'm like, I was just ecstatic. And these sessions that we do like every week make me think about how it's different each time, how it's much more helpful when I am done with the work, how more mindful I am when I am paying attention, and how mindful I really am when I'm sitting in front of class. I kid you not. As soon as I sat in front of the class in my biology class, I felt in the zone, just paying attention. And I'm like really thankful and very happy that I got to not stay in the 9th grade for the second year in a row.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I thank you again.
I'm so glad that these practices have been helpful, and that we as a community is inspiring for you. And I'm sure many of the regulars here also feel that you inspire us. Like your joy and your enthusiasm for the practice is just wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. On that beautiful note, I think it's time for us to begin our meditation. I invite everybody just to check your posture and close your eyes Feel your body. If your legs are crossed, just feel how they're sitting. If you're sitting on a chair, feel how the legs move over the chair. Feel where your hips touch the ground. Feel your spine and your upper back and lower back. And you can move it side to side, back and forward, hunch forward, flex back the other way. And as you just move your spine around, find a way to sit up that feels good, that feels relaxed, dignified, and strong. Take a very deep breath, enough that your lungs will expand back into the muscles and the spine at the back. And then as you really stretch the lungs, adjust your posture that it becomes even more comfortable. Another really deep breath, and then notice how that subtly affects your shoulders. And then let the shoulders adjust to become more relaxed, a posture that's more at ease. Feel the muscles in the arms. Let them relax. Feel the hands. Let them be peace. Some people will be finding really nice feelings in their fingers. Just bring your awareness back up through the arms. And feel the neck. Feel the head. Feel your eyes. And if they're not closed yet, I invite you to close them. Feel the eyelids closed. Feel the cheeks. Feel your jaw. Take a deep, soothing breath and feel the breath going in and out of your nose. And many of you would have found that just by scanning across the body, you feel more peaceful or spacious, perhaps relaxed, perhaps it's like a weight off your shoulders. So just feel your whole body and take some slow, deep breaths and let your whole self become more at peace. And then bring your attention into your nostril, feeling the air come in and out. And I invite you to immerse your whole mind into the experience of the breath. You'll be feeling it. And that point in the nostril, feel the air flowing over. Feel as it goes in. Feel it's warmer when it comes out. Any other sensations you feel, perhaps the rolling of the air or the changes in speed. Just really that point where the air comes in and out, you'll be feeling it. I invite you to also hear it. Hear and feel the breath. The hearing of the breath captures your whole mind. If you notice any point that you're thinking, you can just try and hear the breath more fully. Feeling the breath, hearing the breath. But also be aware of your sense of space. You can feel that point inside the nostril. But then your mind could wander to be aware of your fingers, or your mind could wander to be in some thought about something at school. It's like your mind is then at school. So trying to just keep your sense of space right here in the nose. And I also invite you to bring your sense of time into right now. So this single point in the nostril, this single point in space and time, right here, right now, that little spot, feel it, hear it. If some other sound catches your attention, bring your attention back into hearing the breath as fast as you can, aiming to do it instantaneously, this very moment, right now, right now, right now, right now, breathing. If your awareness is immersed in the breath in that moment, try to shift gears and become deeper into the meditation. What would it be like for old mental activity to settle even more present, more still? But if you notice your mind's really active and you're like, oh, what am I doing? How would you do this? Just with each moment, as soon as you can, try to imagine that it's just the breath. Just keep steering your mind closer and closer into being just the breath.
Yes, there it is.
Focusing on yourself, aiming to be in that present moment of just the breath. In the moments of silence, as you focus on just your breath, I invite you to guide the meditation for yourself. Perhaps you need to bring more calm. Just let yourself rest into the feeling of the breath. Let everything settle. Perhaps you need to bring more excitement, fascinated by the moment. Perhaps just watching where you put your effort is imagining the breath. Does that guide your attention? just continuing to be simply present with the breath. And if any moment you notice your awareness doing anything other than this present moment, guide yourself back in as instantly as you can imagine. If you notice your attention shifting and you come back very quickly, wonderful. If you notice your mind has gone off with a thought, as soon as you notice that, come back, wonderful. Aiming to give yourself every moment in the present moment. We'll have just a couple more minutes to just breathe. Make every moment precious. We'll have 3 more breaths. And before you finish the meditation, I just invite you to reflect upon it. If you had some moments of stillness, or if you notice a calm or a presence or an expansiveness that you've cultivated. Just let yourself enjoy that. Imagine if you had this expansiveness or ease throughout your day. Or perhaps you didn't have many moments of stillness, but you noticed a lot of things that were happening in your consciousness. And that's great. I just want you to take a moment to celebrate that, taking the time to see how your own consciousness moves and to try to steer it. It's like a child learning to walk. When they're trying to do that, they may fall over and wobble, but they get to a point where they can walk, where they can run, they can dance. So just celebrate that every moment that you're watching your mind is like you're learning to be the master of your mind, leveling up your consciousness. And even for those of you where you notice your mind doing lots of things, I invite you to also remember the little moments here or there where the breath just felt good, just felt peaceful. And imagine just having more and more of those peaceful present moments. All right. So if your eyes are still closed, I invite you to gently come out of the meditation. And as you come out slowly, I just invite you to keep noticing your state of mind. Keep being present in each moment. And whenever you're ready, let's all just come back into the temple together. So for those of you who just joined us, we were doing a meditation with most of our focus on being really present in the present moment. And that's going to be our theme for tonight. For those of you who've just come into the temple or on the live stream, it's great to have you. So before we move on, I'd love to just ask if anyone has any reflections. And we can start with anything positive, if it felt great, or if you noticed something, or you learned how to do something with your mind. I'd love to hear it. And after we've shared a few positive ones, if anyone has any other questions or things that were a bit tricky, we could discuss them and look at different attitudes or approaches we could have that could help with that. Emerald Eyes?
Yeah. So for both, I have something.
Let's start with the positive one.
It seemed to me. Okay. So it seemed to me with my eyes open, and I focused on a single point ahead of me. For some reason, that was really helpful to keep my mind still. I'm not sure if that's something familiar to you, but that seemed to work, and I was able to have some moments of stillness. I noticed when my eyes started to shift away from that point, that was in unison with a thought that was straying away from the present moment. So I bring my eyes back to the spot and to my breath, and that really helped me a lot.
Awesome. To anyone who hasn't had that kind of experience, it might sound a bit strange, but it is wild to see that one kind of focus helps with other kinds of focus. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Emerald. All I can say is that you noticing that your eyes and your mind, like having that focus. And when your mind drifted, your eyes didn't have the focus as well, so they also drifted. I think that's awesome. That's biofeedback, your own body and mind working together for you to be able to observe yourself better. That's great. My suggestion with the eyes closed and then the mind wandering is we don't have to have stillness straight away. Learning how to guide your mind, like mentally looking at the breath or holding your attention on the image of stillness and peace, that's a wonderful skill to learn. And you looking at a point has worked great for you, and you may want to continue doing that forever. I'd also recommend learning to create that inner point of focus. And even if it doesn't feel as still when you first start, it's worth practicing.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else want to share a nice moment, a positive moment, an insight? And Emerald will come back to you on the second round. So please hold that other thought. Fluffy Puppy?
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me. As I was in meditation, I could some part of me could see like my lungs. I could see my lungs just expanding and deflating, expanding and deflating with each breath, just coming in and out, in and out. And I could actually feel air coming through my mouth and throat. I just felt like that's something I have not noticed in a very long time in my years of being alive. Like focusing on your body, like focusing how we were focusing on the breath. I was focusing on my lungs. And this feeling like just made me feel it's unable to describe, but it made me think back on when I had bronchitis. My heart just beat so fast, and I just couldn't breathe. I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. But just being in that moment and really focusing on the breath and paying attention to my paying attention to my body, it makes it feel much better.
That's great. It's interesting for people who haven't done much meditation. They might be like, feeling the breath. Of course you feel your breath. But then when you actually go in and get to really be immersed in the sensation, it's just more powerful. Am I right, Fluffy Puppy? Do you relate to what I just said?
Yeah.
And just a tidbit that hopefully will be motivating is that you found just experiencing the breath and the lungs just this nice experience. I've also, myself or people I've meditated with or discussed, there's so many of these interesting sensations that we can have in meditation. There's a sensation where you start to really notice your heartbeat, or people feel the blood pulsing through their body and the cells in their body breathing the oxygen.
Does he have full body? Oh damn! Okay, that's even better. I got Spidey titties right
I'm
here.
just going to go and let them know that there's this class happening, and I'll let you guys have a moment just to keep sharing.
That's actually my fault. That's my fault. I actually let them in. I should have told them to like be quiet.
I'll invite them to come join us. Hey guys, we're having a class, so if you'd like to join us,
I
that'd be
know,
great.
I'm trying. I'm greatly apologize.
That's cool. Or if you guys want
Oh.
to talk, maybe try and stay a bit further from the temple, because we're meditating and
Oh,
stuff.
I am so sorry.
That's
I
cool.
was trying to get them out of here.
You're totally welcome to join us as well if you want. All right, I'm going to jump back on the stage.
Okay, goodbye.
All right. What did I miss?
Nothing much. Nothing much.
Okay, great. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So these sensations, I have had times where the sense of relaxation that I've had made me feel weightless. I've had moments where I just really understood that the air I was breathing was going through into all of the cells in my body, and the food that I had eaten was the energy that those cells were burning. And then as they burnt the cells, I then breathed out the carbon dioxide from those reactions. Just really feeling that my body is this machine that interacts with the world around it. And for anyone who studies some biology, that might sound obvious, but to actually experience it and feel it in your body, it's just a really beautiful thing. So, yeah, they're the kinds of physical sensations that are coming to mind right now, but I know that I have had and spoken to many people who've had many more of these kinds of really soothing physical sensations just from being present with your body. So Fluffy Puppy, I'm hoping to hear more of them happening to you over the years, and thank you so much for sharing the one you had today.
I'm glad to share it with you.
Does anyone else have something from today's session, that a nice feeling or an insight or just something about your focus that you learned? Let me just check on the live stream. All right. So Emerald, you had like a question or something?
I did. It's definitely relevant. Let's say that during my day, I'd like to my anchor for being present in the moment to be something other than my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I wanted it to be the thing I'm trying to apply my attention to. So
It's a great question.
would the method be, let's say I'm applying myself to some kind of business problem, would it be when my mind wanders away from the business problem onto something else, I bring it back to what I'm applying myself to at the moment? Is that the way it goes?
It's a great question, and there's multiple answers that you can try and see what works for you. First, the broader question, people are like, why focus on the breath? How does that help you in your life? Learning focus is then something that hopefully automatically comes more often. So just people who want to get strong, they go and lift weights. But do we ever lift dumbbells in our life? No. But it builds this strength that makes you stronger all the time. So Emerald, I think you're already aware of that. I just wanted to reiterate that for everybody. And then as for how we practice it during the day, if you might notice your mind wander, many people will notice that their mind's then kind of agitated, and so some form of meditation for 30 seconds or 2 minutes just settles the mind and they're able to re-engage. Now, you said if you didn't want to make it your breath, I don't know if you want to make it that point that you look at. So yeah, that is one approach that people will meditate to still the mind and then re-engage. But you were more asking about, what about other ways of engaging with it. So if you notice your mind wander from the business problem, yes, you can definitely treat focusing on this problem as your meditation, meditating in every moment. One thing I would suggest to add to what you said is to also notice the state of mind that you bring to it. So, without knowing which kind of business problems you're talking about, I would just have to guess. So let me give an example, see if it relates. So you're working on solving something that's quite complex, and you've been working through a lot of it, and then your mind's wandered, or there's some complexities that you've gotten caught up on, and then you can just tell yourself, hey, I noticed that, I'm going to focus again. But you might also want to ask yourself, hey, do I want to bring in a sense of confidence, or do I want to bring in a feeling of clarity, or just noticing the state of mind that you bring to that focus? It's like this meta awareness, like awareness of awareness. Bringing that into the practice continually, I think would add to the suggestion that you gave us.
Okay, thank you.
Something that I'd also want to add, that's separate from what we're talking about now, practicing just in this moment, would also be before the workday starts. Every day, imagine the kind of mindset you want to have all day long, and prime your brain to be the awesome business leader or problem solver or sales creator or whatever it is that you are becoming. Like, prime yourself to be awesome at that. So just more of your brain is churning to be the awesomeness that you're becoming. And you do that for one day, you might notice you feel good for an hour in the morning. But if you do it every day for a month, by the end of the month, you will have really created a different state of mind that you bring to work each day.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I think you were here one week where I mentioned one of the books that changed my life. It was by a business success coach. His name's Tom Hopkins. He's mostly famous for sales, but he had one book which was just about everything in life: happiness, relationships, family, business, time management, and empowering your mind. And it was called The Official Guide to Success. I think it came out in the 80s, but of the hundreds of self-help books I've read, it's by far my favorite. So you may want to read that and use that to level up the visualizations and brain training you give yourself.
Was that the secret to success?
The Official Guide to Success.
The Official Guide. Okay. By Tom Hopkins.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I hope you remember that, or you've written it down. If you need to, these sessions are live streamed to YouTube. You could come back and check it. Actually, that's a point for all of us. If you ever want to relive a meditation or a moment of discussion, please go back into the live streams. Maybe comment on the things that drew you in or engaged you. Not just for yourself, but so that other people will be able to benefit from the things that you're thinking about and engaging with. All right, before we move into the next section, does anyone else have any other questions, experiences, or comments? Fluffy Puppy?
Yeah. This was like during my last 2 weeks of school, and so it was just this teacher who was there just to present that she was just there for presentation that she couldn't be a teacher, like she's allowed to be the teacher. So she's like showing us these videos and pictures of people that are like against war, like from the Vietnam War in like the 1960s. And this is all when people were just a bunch of hippies back then, like just laying on the grass, sleeping on the grass, having a great time. And when I had seen a maybe like a 15 or 10-minute clip of this whatever this movie was called, like they were there and they were like, we don't want this anymore. We don't want war. We don't want this war against humanity. We want peace. We want harmony. And they're like there just for companionship and there to dance. They're there to have fun. They're there for each other. They didn't care what race or religion they were having, but they were there having fun. They were dancing. It was humane. It was very, very human. And I was like, oh my gosh, that actually happened? And though the downside of that, it was like people like don't go to college, no education. But other than that, I loved what had happened back then. And this was like during the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm. I also really like the idea of people who think we should stop what's going on and think what's the most beautiful, fun, awesome life we could have. And I spent time with peaceniks, hippies, and I realized there's a lot of different ones. There's people who just want to dance in the forest, and then there are people who really care about social engagement and actually working on world peace and solving issues. And they both dressed like hippies. But I also had an epiphany. I was staying at a college in Oxford in England, and this is where a lot of world leaders, respected people in the system happen. And I realized that they were continually playing games and going to classes and learning things, and they had theater and art and every kind of club you'd want. And it hit me that this was also a beautiful, intentional community. And I've also stayed in some religious groups where they set up a commune and they're all working towards making the world better. And so something I've noticed through my journeys in the world is that there are beautiful, intentional communities all over. And it can be easy to forget that when we're just wrapped up in the people around us, where there's a lot of just news and media and not so much intentionality. But if you bring that intentionality to your group of friends, bit by bit, the more everyone engages in dancing more and intentional kindness with one another and intentional encouragement, your group will be noticeable to other groups. Like, hey, wow, this is a really positive way of being. I want to hang out with these people, or I want to bring that positivity into my circle of friends. So yeah, it doesn't have to be peaceniks lying in the park against a war. Like, making that better life is something that we can all do. And something I hope in each moment we try to bring our best self into it. Just give me a moment. All right, that alarm was just to remind me to tell someone that I care about that they're awesome at self-transformation and that they get better and better at it every day. And the more they practice feeling free and feeling empowered and positive, the more they can create their better self, the more they can feel it, the more they can practice it and internalize it. So,
That's good.
if you're here with us on the live stream or here, hope you take a moment to receive the love. And everybody else, I hope that was a nice moment for all of us.
Yeah.
So, I think I want to now talk about being in the present moment. Lots of people talk about it and the benefits of it. I hope some of you found in that meditation, just practicing being more present, it felt good. And the more you practice being in the present moment, the more you will feel good. But if we also add to the way we understand being in the present moment, the more helpful that is. So I just want to ask, when I say being in the present moment, is it clear to everybody here that sometimes, or perhaps often, when people are doing things, rather than just being really present with like all their best self, they've got like worries or concerns, or they're thinking about doing the thing poorly? Can people relate to that? Emerald Eyes?
I hear what you're saying, and I just wanted to maybe add something or ask a question. Does being in the present moment mean you are still all the time, or is it okay to be continually wandering and coming back and wandering and coming back? Is that still considered being in the present moment?
It's a good question. Are we talking meditation or life, or both?
Life, please. Yeah, life.
I think the end goal is definitely to train yourself that you're always fully present. And there's a saying in some Buddhist groups that the jewel of enlightenment is within the beautiful, delicate lotus flower of each moment. So this like rock solid awesomeness, we have it in the delicateness of each moment. So if your mind wanders and then you come back, if you're doing that continuously throughout the day, that's awesome. If you then train yourself that your mind wanders less and you have just longer times in the present moment, that's awesome. If you trained yourself that you actually completely shifted gears in your consciousness and you were a being of unshakable presence, you were so engaged with what's happening right now that's just how your mind always was, that's awesome too. Some people may find they practice a lot and they're in that ever-present moment for some years, and then maybe life takes them on different circumstances and their mind then starts doing something else. So I think I would say just having that intention is great. Yes, there are profound states of minds you can get into. Being able to sustain that for a lifetime. I was in those states of mind for a while, but I can't say I sustained it. Perhaps I could have if I had lived in a monastery. Perhaps I could have if I had had a different support network or community around me. But yeah, the point is that carrying that intention or that mindset is always beneficial. It doesn't matter like how completely you've mastered it. If you get to a state where it lasts for a year or a decade, or that's wonderful. And if it's only a moment here and there, but you're giving yourself those moments throughout the day, that's also wonderful.
Thank you.
And you know, when we're meditating, it can seem like, oh, I'm present, and oh, I've wandered. But I don't think it's even that cut and dried. Like, you can be present, but if you look really closely, you kind of still have some other activity going on. And living in the present moment, you might be feeling calm and steady and good. But then the next day, you could also be living in the present moment, but you've fired up the part of your mind that is inspired and in the zone and feeling amazing. They're both in the present moment. It's like putting labels on states of mind never really do them justice, because there's an infinite array of what kind of state of mind you're in. So you might remember during our meditation I mentioned, watch carefully how you steer your mind. Learn, do you go in more focus by imagining you're in the focus, or by putting yourself on the breath, or like learn how you direct your mind better. And the same is true in life. Every moment we get a chance to be an artist with your consciousness. I mean, many people don't take that chance to be an artist with their consciousness, but you can. You can be like, how much happiness do I want to add to right now? How much excitement have I gotten up and jumped in the last hour? How much like endorphins and blood pumping do I have in my body? How much love do I have in myself right now? Am I overflowing with compassion for all beings right now? Or how much peace do I bring into each moment? How much laughter? So, yes, I think when we're being present, we're much more empowered to be this creator of your consciousness. But I also know people who practice being in the present moment, and they don't at all want to create anything. They're just aiming for steadiness. So, I guess ultimately I want all of us to imagine what would be the most amazing world, and then you be the person who creates yourself as the most amazing you can imagine. I don't want to prescribe to you what enlightenment is. I want you to imagine the best enlightenment, and then for you to create it and share it with each other. So that was an interesting segue to my question when I said, do people see how when we engage with things, it can be pretty common for people, rather than just really being present with what's happening, they're like worrying, or they're imagining they won't do so well, or they're judging themselves, or they're imagining other people judging themselves, or they're in a conversation with someone, and instead of just giving as much love and creativity to what's happening right now, they're remembering how the person didn't do something right a while ago or made them feel not good. I hope that many of you can see that throughout human consciousness, throughout people's minds, there's a lot of unnecessary stress, anxiety, concerns, or upset people give themselves. And I'll come to you in just a second. I'd just like us to take a moment to imagine, what if everybody just stopped doing that? And in whatever you're going to do, just let yourself enjoy it. You just thought about what you wanted to say and said it in the way you want to say it. If you thought about how you wanted to do things and you imagined doing it really well, and then you did your best to try and do your best. So this is my intention for all of us from this session tonight, is to carry that idea, carry that way of being, and practice that skill. Just stop all the other stuff. Just move through life with this ease, this awesomeness, this positivity. Whether it's social circumstances, whether it's how you feel each moment, whether it's your art, your creativity, just really just being free to bring your best. Emerald, you had a comment or a question? Hi, welcome.
I did. So, what would you say? Thanks, Fluffy, for leaning over. That's kind. Yeah. Would you say you would call that baggage, or maybe even a chip on your shoulder, or these are like cliched terms, but would that be something that would be along those lines if you could let go of the baggage, take the chip off your shoulder? I don't know, I guess putting them in terms I've heard before kind of makes me draw kind of familiar parallel.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, if everybody just dropped all their baggage. Sometimes some people use the word baggage to think of like really heavy stuff. I'm also encouraging people to drop their light baggage. like but yeah, absolutely. And there's a subtle difference between baggage and a chip on your shoulder. Many people think of a chip on the shoulder as being like tied up in like ego or anger or something. But yeah, letting go of that too. You could probably also think of other metaphors or cliches that talk about people like carrying a burden or being tangled up in their thoughts or stressing about things. Yeah, all of these ways that we describe when we are being heavy on ourselves or causing our mind to have to engage with stuff that we don't even need to engage with. Yeah, I'm talking about letting go of all of that. So, yeah, let's all take a couple breaths and imagine if you just let go of all your baggage. Maybe baggage, you can broaden the term. Like perhaps when you think about social circumstances, you think that there's like stress or worry. Imagine if you just let go of that completely. Or if you think about exams and people have told you, whoa, they're intense and they're hard, and you just let go of all that. You're like, hey, I'm just going to have a good time and be focused. Or if you think about business presentations, just carry the things that help you most, the role models that have made you feel focused and confident and expressive. Make them bigger. And then the times you've seen people be like, whoa, stress, pressure. Just imagine if that was just gone from your mind and all that was left was just the awesomeness. So let's all just take 10 deep breaths and imagine if you move through life, you just dropped all the baggage, all the feelings that don't help you. In every moment, just being present. Carrying yourself with ease and lightness. imagine if you saw someone else who was carrying a lot of heavy baggage, caught up in their worries or concerns, or they had negative ideas about themselves that upset them or hurt them. Imagine if you could just go over and kind of hold their baggage, point it out, and just help them put it down, and then dance together. As you become that person who travels through life with ease and presence, you can give that gift to others. Did you have something you'd like to ask or share, Sebalos?
Sure. Actually, I've been actually thinking this, and I just realized this like a couple days ago, or just, it's in this couple days, and it's the realization of I'm right now existing, and I just realized from if I look around the world that people are so much identifying themselves with their thoughts, their emotions, the events, and identifying themselves with the title that's been given them since birth. And people identify themselves and think they're their, thoughts, and it weighs them down every second of their lives, just identifying themselves with it. And it becomes such a heavy thing. This thing that always keeps blabbering into your mind. And it creates anxiety, it creates so much stress that doesn't need to be needed. And people identify themselves with it. And also with the knowing that right now you're existing and you're soon gonna be gone. And people, and it's just like, I guess you realize life is like a game. It's like a dream right now, and you're a character in it. And it's like I'm a character in a dream, and the dream is very long. And until death, you gotta be in this dream where you experience a human being. You're just experiencing it, and you choose to experience what you want to experience. And it's very amazing that right now I'm existing, and there's no explanation to existence. It truly isn't. It's just there. It exists. And it's a weird thing. Everything goes and comes. Everything exists and then goes. And it's like an infinite cycle. And we're here. People don't realize that, you're gonna eventually die. And people take in life so many things seriously. Too seriously. And life is actually very, very not that, it's too much to be seriously taken. With all this stress, people take it so seriously. And then their thoughts take over, and then it just goes all crazy. And that's just to my mind. It was nice to share it.
So much you just shared. Let me see. I think that one thing that stood out for me there is this idea that life is a game or it's a dream.
It's like a dream, you're just a character.
Oh, that was the thing.
You
You
play
said
this.
you're like a character.
Yeah.
I actually really love playing with that thought experiment. If I'm a character in this game, in this world, what scripts am I going to write for this character? A lot of people are just kind of doing the thing that life has taught them to do. But if you step back and be like, whoa, okay, here I am in the world, and it's a game. What do I want to play? What do I want to achieve? What impact do I want to have on the world? It can be a really liberating shift in perspective. And Emerald Eyes, I mentioned to you before at the start of the workday to imagine how awesome you want to be that day. This is that idea of you're a character, you're writing the script for yourself. And when you practice being a certain way, the more often you say that to yourself, repeat it to yourself, imagine what it feels like, imagine how you act, the more that kind of becomes the automatic habits of your character. And this ability to notice yourself and then think about what you could be if you could be anything. It's just such a gift. And it deserves more attention than any of us are giving it. Sabellas, one thing I noticed as you were describing it, it made me reflect on today. I've talked about examples of where people cause themselves stress or they perform less well at things because they're priming themselves to do that. But ultimately, I'd want us all to be priming ourselves with ease and with happiness and with confidence. I'd love it if we had a world where everyone had forgotten that a generation ago people caused themselves stress and pain, and it was just totally normal for everybody to be happy and be positive and empowered. So I encourage you, as you think about this realization, to also spend time imagining your most happy, vibrant self. Make those parts of your mind as strong and feel as good as you can. Because when they grow, that's where this awesomeness really takes hold, takes over.
And, let love guide you, not fear. That's all. That's all I always say to myself. And things get better always when I say that.
What was it that you say to yourself?
Let love guide me, not fear.
Let love guide me. Beautiful.
No, let love guide you, not fear. That's what I said to myself.
Yeah, I heard you. I just dropped the fear. I hope it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I was using the wrong camera. Hey. Thank you so much for sharing. It sounds like this insight's been really moving you recently. So I'm glad you're here and that you could share it with us.
It's always a pleasure to experience things with the people.
I hope to see you at these sessions more often. All right, everyone, I just noticed the time and it's getting to the point where we'll have our closing meditation soon. So if anyone has any pressing questions or comments, I would love to hear them now. If there's anything that you think would be really helpful for you, that you really want to ask, please ask. I'll just give us a minute to contemplate if there's anything. Okay, it looks like it's time for us to begin our closing meditation. I would like to start by getting everybody just to really have a stretch. I feel like I've been sitting still. Maybe my posture where I'm sitting wasn't so great. And I think it's really good to make your body feel good before meditation. So I invite you to try and stretch a little further than you normally would. Try and find some angles that are different than how you'd normally stretch. And then as you stop stretching, it might be subtle or it might feel really good already. Just let yourself enjoy whatever nice feelings there are in your body from the stretch that you just had. And then I invite you to close your eyes. And again, we bring our attention to the breath coming in and out. And I invite you to focus, hearing, feeling the breath be in the nostril. Feel that point. Feeling, hearing the breath, your sense of space in the nose. Aim to be in that experience in every moment. Be there 3 times a second, 10 times a second, 1,000,000 times a second, 1,000,000,000,000 times a second. Imagine if nothing existed except the breath. It's captivated your entire consciousness right now. Just breathe in. Watch closely on every moment. Keep making every moment just hear the breath. if you're deep in stillness, and the quality you're practicing that you'll always have this moment-to-moment awareness. For the last part of the meditation, stay with the breath, feel the breath, hear the breath, each moment of the breath, and also infuse some positive feelings of your choosing. Make them loving breaths, or happy breaths, or peaceful breaths. Any state of mind, any feeling that you choose. We're going to move from this meditation into walking out of the temple. And as we do, I just want you to feel that you're carrying this meditative state of mind out into your life, into every day. Those of you there on the live stream, I want you to also imagine that you're just going to take this present moment, this peace, this positivity with you always. Cherishing how precious it is that you can watch your consciousness, you can make it great, you can make it beautiful. Cherishing that you have the option, the ability to have this positivity, to make your moments precious. Whenever you're ready, you can also stand up, bring your way out of the temple. So everybody, if we could just come over here and we're just going to have a bow to everybody there on the live stream, the few that are here with us now, or maybe everybody who will ever watch this, everything meditative that we all shared, and the wish for this peace and enlightenment for everybody, for the world. So thank you for joining us. We wish you happiness, joy, and ease.